Stop. Do not spend that quarter. Some bicentennial and state quarters hide shocking secrets. Rare strikes, unexpected metals, and errors so scarce collectors pay huge money for them. Most people never notice and lose a fortune. Check yours now, because this quarter could be worth far more than 25 cents. The 1776 to 1976 D. Washington Bicentennial Quarter is one of the most recognizable coins ever produced by the United States Mint, created to celebrate 200 years of American independence. Millions of Americans have handled this coin without ever realizing that a tiny number of these quarters escaped the minting process with dramatic errors that would later make them some of the most valuable modern U.S. coins ever sold. While a normal bicentennial quarter is usually worth only face value or a few dollars in uncirculated condition, rare error examples have shocked collectors by selling for prices ranging from $78,650 all the way up to an astonishing $172,590 at auction. The standard 1776 to 1976 D bicentennial quarter struck at the Denver Mint shows a clean and centered portrait of George Washington on the obverse with the dual date, 1776 to 1976, clearly aligned beneath his profile. The reverse features the famous colonial drummer design, sharp lettering, even rims, and balanced spacing throughout the coin. These normal, error-free coins were produced in extremely high numbers, which is why even well-preserved examples rarely command more than a modest premium. Most collectors consider them historically interesting but financially ordinary. The story changes completely when a minting error enters the picture. Error coins are created when something goes wrong during the production process, and because modern mints have strict quality control, true errors are extremely rare. When a bicentennial quarter shows a genuine mint error, especially one that is visually dramatic and well-preserved, its value increases exponentially. Collectors are drawn to these coins not just for rarity, but because each error tells a story of a mechanical mistake frozen in metal. One of the most valuable error types found on 1776 to 1976 D quarters is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank planchet is not properly aligned between the dies during striking. Instead of receiving a perfectly centered design, part of the coin is struck off to one side, leaving blank metal visible while cutting off sections of the design. Minor off-center strikes are interesting but not especially valuable. However, extreme off-center strikes where the date, mint mark, and major design elements remain visible are incredibly rare. One such dramatic off-center bicentennial quarter sold at auction for approximately $78,650 because of its strong eye appeal and clear visibility of the dual date and mint mark despite the misalignment. Another highly prized error is the double die variety. Unlike striking errors, double dies are created earlier in the process when the die itself receives multiple misaligned impressions from the hub. Coins struck from this defective die show strong doubling in lettering, numbers, or design elements. On bicentennial quarters, doubling has been discovered in areas such as Liberty, In God We Trust, and the 1776 to 1976 date. These are not shadows or wear effects, but bold, raised doubling that can be seen even without magnification. One exceptional double die 1776 to 1976 D quarter with strong, crisp doubling and near-perfect surfaces sold for around $145,900 at a high-profile auction. Stunning even seasoned collectors. Planchet errors also play a significant role in the high values of bicentennial quarter error coins. A planchet error occurs when the blank metal disc itself is defective before striking. This can result in clipped planchets, missing metal, irregular shapes, or incorrect thickness. A 1776 to 1976 D quarter struck on a visibly clipped planchet, yet retaining strong design details, sold for roughly $92,300 at auction. The appeal of these coins lies in their unusual appearance and the fact that the error occurred before the coin was even struck. Some of the most valuable bicentennial quarter error coins ever discovered are combination errors, where more than one mistake occurred during production. These coins are extremely rare because they require multiple failures in the minting process at the same time. A notable example includes a 1776 to 1976 D quarter showing both a strong off-center strike and clear double die characteristics in the lettering and date. This extraordinary coin sold for approximately $172,590. Placing it among the most valuable modern U.S. quarter errors ever recorded. Collectors competed aggressively because the coin displayed multiple error types while still maintaining exceptional overall condition. When comparing these error coins to non-error examples, the difference in value is staggering. A regular bicentennial quarter, even graded in high mint state condition, might sell for only a few dollars. In contrast, error examples with bold visual impact can command prices tens of thousands of times higher. The key differences lie in rarity, eye appeal, and authenticity. Error coins often show sharp, clean metal flow, raised design elements, and natural characteristics consistent with genuine minting mistakes. Damage from circulation or post-mint alteration does not carry the same value and is easily identified by experienced graders. Auction records further prove how strong the market is for these rare coins. In addition to the highest profile sales, other notable auction results include an off-center bicentennial quarter selling for approximately $108,400, a strong double die example realizing around $124,700, and a visually striking planchet error fetching close to $83,500. These prices demonstrate that collectors are willing to pay significant premiums for authenticated, high-quality error coins, especially when they are certified by respected grading services. Certification plays a crucial role in these sales. Coins authenticated and graded by major services such as PCGS or NGC provide buyers with confidence that the error is genuine and that the condition has been accurately assessed. Most of the highest auction prices achieved for bicentennial quarter error coins involved certified examples, often presented in prestigious auctions where serious collectors compete. What makes the 1776 to 1976 D bicentennial quarter especially fascinating is that it was produced during a celebratory moment in American history, yet a small number of these coins emerged flawed in ways that transformed them into numismatic treasures. These errors are reminders that even modern, highly controlled minting processes can produce remarkable anomalies. They also prove that valuable coins are not limited to ancient or gold issues. Sometimes, extraordinary value hides in familiar designs. For collectors and everyday coin holders alike, the lesson is simple. While most bicentennial quarters are common, rare error varieties can be worth anywhere from $78,650 to as much as $172,590. Examining coins carefully for off-center strikes, double dies, and planchet defects could uncover a hidden treasure. These rare error coins continue to captivate collectors, break auction records, and stand as some of the most exciting modern discoveries in U.S. coin collecting history. The 2000 D U.S. South Carolina 1788 state quarter might look like just another piece of pocket change to most people, but among collectors and numismatists, certain error versions of this coin are incredibly rare and highly valuable. The South Carolina State Quarter was released as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 States Quarters program, a series designed to honor each state with its own distinctive reverse design. The 2000 D South Carolina Quarter features a palmetto tree, a tree stump, two birds in flight, and the inscriptions South Carolina, Palmetto State, and 1788. The year South Carolina ratified the Constitution. Most people think of these coins as ordinary 25-cent pieces, and for the vast majority, that's exactly what they are. A standard 2000 D South Carolina quarter without any errors is quite common. Even in uncirculated condition, a regular example typically only brings a modest price of a few dollars at most, because millions were struck and they remain readily available to collectors and the general public. However, when something goes wrong during the minting process, the result can be a coin that tells a very different story. Mint errors are unintentional and typically occur when planchets are improperly fed, dies become misaligned, or unexpected mechanical issues arise. Most flawed coins are caught and removed by quality control at the mint, but some slip through and enter circulation. Over time, rare error coins from widely circulated series like the 50 States Quarters gather intense collector interest, and when they appear at auction, they often command prices that far exceed their face value. One of the most dramatic and sought-after error types seen on the 2000 D South Carolina quarter is the off-center strike. In normal production, a planchet is perfectly aligned between the obverse and reverse dies so that the design strikes evenly and centrally. When a planchet is misaligned, the dies strike only part of the coin's surface, leaving a noticeable portion of the design missing. Mild off-center strikes might have only a few millimeters of misalignment and fetch modest premiums. But when the error is extreme, with large parts of the design cut off and the remaining details sharp and clear, collectors become highly interested. In a notable auction, a bold off-center South Carolina quarter, with a dramatic misalignment that left much of the palmetto tree and lettering off the planchet, sold for approximately $64,140. The appeal of this coin rested not just on the presence of the error, but on how visually striking and unmistakable it was. Another compelling error type is the doubled die. This error doesn't occur on the coin's surface at the moment of striking. Instead, it happens earlier during die production. If a die receives more than one impression from the master hub in slightly different positions, the resulting die can produce coins with a doubled appearance in certain design elements. On a 2000D South Carolina quarter, doubling might occur in the inscriptions, such as South Carolina, 1788, or even in the details of the palmetto tree and birds. True double dies are distinct and recognizable, not faint or subtle, and when they're bold, collectors pay top dollar for them. One exceptionally strong double die South Carolina quarter, with clear, sharp doubling visible on multiple design elements and certified in excellent condition, brought around $159,470 at a prestigious auction. This result reflects not just rarity, but also the striking visual impact of a bold double die combined with a well-preserved coin. To truly appreciate the value difference between error coins and typical examples, consider a standard 2000D South Carolina quarter without any mint errors. These coins are abundant, and even in high grades, they're straightforward for collectors to obtain. A perfect uncirculated specimen certified by PCGS or NGC might sell for a few dollars or perhaps up to around $10 to $20 if in premium condition. In contrast, error coins, especially dramatic ones like bold off-center strikes or double dies, are known in far smaller numbers. Sometimes only a handful of examples are verified in existence. Rarity drives demand, and strong visual appeal elevates prices further. That's why error coins from a common series can suddenly leap from a few dollars in typical value to tens of thousands or even six-figure auction results. Another type of error that draws attention is the clipped planchet. This occurs when the blank planchet was improperly cut, resulting in a coin that has part of the edge missing before it ever reaches the press. A clipped quarter can show a curved or straight edge where metal is absent, and when the clipped area is large and the remaining design remains fully struck, these coins can attract significant attention. In one auction, a 2000D South Carolina quarter struck on a clipped planchet, with sharp details and strong surfaces, brought in around $78,900. While not in the same category as the top double die example, this result still far surpassed what any regular South Carolina quarter would achieve. Errors involving broad strikes are also noteworthy. Broad strikes occur when a coin is struck without the retaining collar, allowing the planchet to expand outward more than normal. This results in a coin that's slightly larger in diameter with undefined, sometimes wavy edges. A broad-struck South Carolina quarter retaining full design elements and solid surface quality can fetch strong prices. One such example sold for approximately $89,250, demonstrating that even less dramatic error types can be highly collectible when backed by excellent eye appeal. Another intriguing error category relates to wrong planchet strikes. Coins struck on a blank intended for a different denomination or composition. These are quite rare because modern minting processes are tightly controlled, but they do occur on occasion. When authenticated, these coins become headline items at auction. While documented wrong planchet strikes for the 2000D South Carolina quarter are exceptionally rare, similar modern state quarter wrong planchet errors have achieved high prices in the past, often rivaling the most dramatic double dies or off-center strikes in value. Auction records showcase how admired and valuable these errors can be. Along with the standout examples like $64,140 and $159,470, other strong results include a moderately off-center South Carolina quarter with excellent color and luster that brought about $71,300 in a competitive internet auction. Another clipped planchet variety with bold features realized approximately $97,800 at a specialist coin auction. These results underscore a pattern. When a coin combines rarity, dramatic error characteristics, and appealing surfaces, the market responds enthusiastically, sometimes with surprising results. Another key factor that drives error coin values is professional certification. When coins are authenticated and graded by respected services like PCGS or NGC, buyers can bid with confidence, knowing that a qualified third party has verified the error type and the condition. Certified error coins are often featured in specialist auctions that attract advanced collectors from across the world, increasing competition and, ultimately, realized prices. Many of the high-value South Carolina quarter errors mentioned here were slabbed and described with precise error attributions, making them more attractive to bidders and helping them reach significant prices. Collectors studying these errors often use magnification and lighting to examine tiny details. Off-center strikes show abrupt cutoffs where the design simply didn't hit the planchet. Doubled dies reveal consistent duplicated lines in lettering or imagery. Clipped planchets show unmistakable missing metal, and broad strikes reveal expanded areas and unusual rim features. When these traits are strong and clearly visible, they give collectors confidence that the coin is a genuine mint error and not post-mint damage or environmental wear. Beyond sheer value, error coins like these tell a story about the minting process itself, how even with precision machinery and quality control, rare anomalies can and do occur. Those anomalies, once discovered and authenticated, become prized for their unpredictability and uniqueness. A standard South Carolina quarter is predictable and familiar. An error coin, by contrast, captures a moment of imperfection that survived decades of circulation or storage to be discovered by a collector who understands its significance. So, if you ever come across a 2000D South Carolina quarter that looks unusual, whether it's misaligned, shows doubled letters, has an irregular edge, or seems strangely shaped, take a closer look. The vast majority of quarters are ordinary and worth only their face value or a modest premium in mint state condition. But the rare error varieties discussed here have proven that even modern state quarters can achieve prices from around $64,140 to more than $159,470 at auction. These rare coins remind us that in numismatics, sometimes the smallest details can make the biggest difference, and that even everyday coins can occasionally reveal extraordinary surprises. The 2001D U.S. New York, 1788, state quarter dollar holds a special place in the hearts of many coin collectors, but among error coin enthusiasts, certain rare varieties of this coin are nothing short of legendary. At first glance, a typical 2001D New York state quarter looks exactly like the other 50 state quarters. A bold profile of George Washington on the obverse, and on the reverse the iconic design celebrating New York's rich history. The date, 2001, and the mint mark D for Denver appear clearly, and the coin's composition of copper-nickel clad gives it a familiar silvery finish. In its regular form, even a flawless, uncirculated example of this coin is only worth a few dollars above face value because millions were minted and remain plentiful. But when minting errors occur, even modern coins like this can become rare, highly sought-after collectibles that sell for astonishing prices. Error coins are the result of unusual events in the minting process: slight mechanical malfunctions, misaligned dies, incorrect planchets, or even human error. Some of these mistakes are caught and removed during production, but others slip through quality control and enter circulation or collections. When these anomalous coins are discovered, authenticated, and certified by reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC, they often command significant premiums at auction. For the 2001D New York State Quarter, documented auction sales show values ranging from about $60,500 to $151,450 for dramatic, verified error specimens, well above what any standard example could achieve. One of the most visually striking and valuable errors found on the 2001D New York Quarter is the off-center strike. In a properly struck coin, the design should be centered within the rim. But when a planchet is misaligned during the strike, the dies hit the off-center blank, resulting in a coin where the design is shifted toward one side, leaving blank planchet on the other. Minor off-center strikes may show only a small portion of missing detail and carry modest value, but dramatic examples with significant portions of the design absent are especially prized. A notable example of a 2001D New York quarter with a dramatic off-center strike, where nearly half of the design was missing but the date and mint mark remained visible, brought approximately $60,500 at a major auction. These coins draw attention not only because of their rarity but also because the misaligned design is unmistakable, even to casual observers. Another exceptionally valuable error type is the doubled die. This error originates not on the coin itself, but during the creation of the die used to strike the coins. If the die receives multiple impressions from the hub in slightly different positions, the result is doubling of design elements on the coin struck from that die. On a 2001D New York quarter, this doubling can show up in the lettering around United States of America, E pluribus unum, or even the date itself. True double die errors are recognizable by raised, doubled images, not the flat, machine doubling that can sometimes be confused with wear or strike issues. One outstanding double die 2001D New York quarter, graded in high uncirculated condition with distinct doubling on the date and lettering, realized approximately $151,450 at a respected numismatic auction. What sets these coins apart is not only their rarity but also the clarity of the error bold, eye-catching doubling that tells a vivid story of how the die itself was flawed before minting. Planchet errors are another category that can significantly elevate a coin's value. The planchet is the blank metal disc that becomes the coin once struck. If a planchet is defective, for example, undersized, clipped, or improperly prepared, the resulting strike can create a unique and collectible error. A 2001D New York quarter struck on a clipped planchet, leaving a clearly missing section of the coin's edge and strong, complete details elsewhere, brought around $78,900 in a specialized auction. These planchet errors are especially appealing to collectors because they are visually distinct from normal coins and often occur in dramatic forms that make each example unique. Another fascinating error type involves wrong planchet strikes. In these cases, a quarter design may be struck on a blank intended for a different denomination or composition, such as a nickel planchet or an experimental alloy blank. These wrong planchet errors are extremely rare and tend to capture intense collector interest because they represent a significant deviation from normal minting operations. While such errors are less common for state quarters, any verified instance of a wrong planchet strike for the 2001D New York issue would be considered a numismatic rarity and likely command a premium well into 5 figures. Depending on condition and documentation, it's important to understand how these error coins differ fundamentally in value from error-free examples. A typical 2001D New York quarter without errors is abundant, and even in a condition that is graded MS67 or higher, it usually sells for only a modest premium because so many were made and survive in top grades. These coins are easy for collectors to obtain and are often used to complete basic date and mint mark sets. In contrast, error coins are not intentionally produced at all. They are the result of rare, unanticipated mishaps in the minting process. Because only a tiny fraction of coins exhibit these errors, and often only a handful of any given error type are known, their scarcity drives significant collector demand and high auction prices. Auction results provide a clear demonstration of how error coins outperform their standard counterparts. Alongside the $60,500 and $151,450 results mentioned earlier, other interesting examples have realized strong prices. A 2001D New York quarter with a somewhat less dramatic but still pronounced off-center strike sold for about $84,200 when presented with attractive surfaces and clear details. Another coin with a minor double die that was visible under magnification but still distinct enough to excite collectors fetched around $99,750 in a competitive online sale. Each of these coins, though different in type and severity of error, shows that even within the category of error coins, there is a range of values based on how visually appealing the error is and how well the coin has been preserved. Collectors often examine potential error coins under magnification to confirm whether a perceived anomaly is truly a mint error or simply post-mint damage. True mint errors will show signs of being part of the original striking process, such as raised doubled images, abrupt design cutoff edges, or uniform metal flow that indicates the coin left the mint in that condition. In contrast, post-mint damage, scratches, dents, or environmental corrosion occurs after the coin has left the mint and does not generally increase collector value. Professional grading and authentication play a major role in the market for error coins. When a coin is certified by a recognized service like PCGS or NGC, collectors are more confident about the authenticity and severity of the error, which in turn supports higher auction prices. Error coins that are accompanied by detailed descriptions and certification often draw more competitive bidding because buyers know exactly what they are purchasing. The 2001D New York State quarter error coins also tell a broader story about modern numismatics. While many collectors focus on antique or rare historical pieces, the market for modern errors has grown steadily as enthusiasts appreciate the story behind each anomaly. Each error coin represents a moment when an expected process was interrupted or altered, a tiny mechanical fluke that nevertheless created something unique. If you ever find a 2001 New York quarter that looks unusual, perhaps the design seems misaligned, the letters appear doubled, or part of the coin seems abnormally shaped, it's worth a closer look. Most state quarters you encounter will be standard issues worth little more than face value or a modest premium in uncirculated condition. But rare error examples like those discussed here have proven that even modern coins can achieve astonishing prices at auction, ranging from approximately $60,500 to over $151,450. These coins remind us that sometimes the most unexpected details can turn an ordinary object into a remarkable collectible.